We need to have a museum in Haiti, in Kwabosal. In Kwabosal, this is where they used to bring
our
put them
ancestors
on the block to sell them. Okay? And as a kid, I used to go to Kwabosal because it's now a market. I never knew it was there that they used to, you know, sell this. I never knew that. I just knew I love going to Kwabosal. Anytime my mother would say, you go to the other market that's cleaner, I'm like, no, I want to go to Kwabosal. Something always pulled me there. I love it. I love the people there. I love the merchants. I love the way I can bother with them. I just love it. The place was dirty, but I just loved it. I didn't care about how dirty it was. You know, you had to put special shoes on, like you know, rain boots or something, because the water was so dirty. I would just walk with my bare feet because I just love going there so much. I love the interaction with the merchants, you know. And it wasn't until recently I learned this is where the ship would come, and this would be the first place they would bring our ancestors to sell them, pour oil on them to make them look fresh after 3 months in the ship, to sell them. So that place became a market, and the people forgot about it. And this is what they do to us: make you forget your history. This is how you make someone forget their history. You make them walk in a place that they don't even know your ancestors used to be sold here. Did you know that? I don't think none of these people knew. I didn't know. When I found out, I'm like, wow, how could I have not known? It's not written in any books anywhere that, or even if it's written in books, it didn't come across. The awareness was not there. That place needs to become the first museum. That place, in that location. And you know what's there now? A church. The very same church that sold those people into slavery. The popes, they're the one who organized this whole slavery business. The kings, the popes, okay? It was them. So you mean to tell me today we have a church there, and you think that's justice? You think that should stay like that? It can't stay like that. As long as we have these churches littered all over Haiti, we shall keep running as Haitian all over the globe until until a generation is tired of running, until a generation says enough is enough. We got the point. We got the message. We understand the message. It's got to be a generation that's going to understand that, and only a scientific generation will understand that. Kwabosal, eventually, Kwabosal became worse. Now it's not, it destroyed it totally. Now it's almost like they want to just erase it from history. And this is where for 1502, 1501, 1502 to 1804, 300 plus years, this business was happening right there in Kwabosal, selling those people right there. And today we have a church there as the last thing. That we have to undo. That we have to make right. If this is a mathematical equation, we have not solved it. X is not solved. What is the value of X? That's what we need to work on. And so the laws are not, that's why the laws are done. They're done. They're done with churches. They're done with priests and pastors. Our own ancestors who were in Kwabosal. Don't you think we owe them a museum in the middle of Kwabosal to restore their memory, to restore the energetic power that we still have, that they still have? This is everything that we're going to have access to once we start rebuilding and putting things into place where they belong energetically. You cannot have a church where people were being sold by the same people who were selling them. You cannot have a church there and have these people unconsciously going into the church, because that church is built on what? That church is built on an energy reserve of those people, of all those lives, all those millions of lives who went through there. That's why they built the church there. Now, when you have a group of people unconsciously also functioning in that same locality, all of that equal energy for their egregores. You're unaware, and it's also bad for you. It's like a poison for you, because you weren't supposed to be unaware. You were supposed to know your history. You were supposed to know who your ancestors were. You were supposed to know that place, what happened there. You were supposed to know. You were supposed to be conscious when you're there. You were supposed to pour libation when you're there. You were supposed to honor and respect that place to the utmost. But you didn't know. You went through your lives like a zombie. You went through their church. We were in the market, and we didn't know. That's the result of having an education that is not aligned with the paradigm of your traditional ancestral heritage. They're not going to tell you what happened there. They're not going to make you awake. Do you think the Jews, do you think they can take them somewhere in Auschwitz in Germany and then they didn't know? It just so happened like, well, I didn't know. Do you know how many Africans left Africa to go to the Caribbean, to go to the Americas, to go everywhere? And we do not have a museum to honor all of these people. We don't have one place where we can say all of these people, if this is here, is a place for them. We don't have that. But we have a place for Jesus. We have a church for Jesus in every 3 kilometers in Haiti. We have a church. There are churches in every corner, across from every corner. We Haitians, we go to Israel. We go to Israel to go find Jesus, to celebrate Jesus. But our ancestors who came from those ships in Kwabosal, we never thought about them. They spent 3 months on a ship. They beat them. Some of them died. They had to, the dead had to be next to the living. Some of them gave birth in there. The child died. They had to live with that. And when they get off the ship, this was the first place they set their foot. And they hosed them down to sell them. And we have a church in that locality, Saint Joseph. A motherfucking saint. A Catholic saint. You know what the Catholic saint did to become a saint? They had to kill as many people as they can to convert them into Christianity. The more they killed, the more they converted. That's how they became saint. You see the history there?